All right, Julie, let's knock out some of the Super Bowl pre-tapes. First up, Packers-Chiefs.
Well, we have our Super Bowl teams, and this year, have some cheese with our KC barbecue as the Packers take on the Chiefs.
Great. Packers-Titans next.
Well, we have our Super Bowl teams, and this year, have some cheese with our hot chicken as the Packers take on the Titans.
Crushed it. Niners-Chiefs now.
Well, we have our Super Bowl teams, and this year have a San Francisco treat with our KC barbecue as the 49ers take on the Chiefs.
3 for 3. Next up, Niners and Titans. And go.
Well, we have our Super Bowl teams, and this year have a San Francisco treat with our hot chicken as the 49ers take on the Titans. How many more of these pre-tapes do we have to do?
Just player injuries, and then we're done. All righty, last one. Aaron Rodgers, cat's cradle.
All right, well, it looks as though the Packers are going to have to play the Chiefs without Aaron Rodgers, who got his hand stuck in a cat's cradle. Is that really going to happen? Hey everyone, welcome on into Call It a Night, the sports show that believes if you're doing dry January, you don't need to tell everyone about it. I'm your host, Julie Stewart-Binks. It's been many months in the making. Tackles, sacks, blood, sweat, jockstraps, tears, and stupid media quotes, but we finally have our Super Bowl matchup. Kansas City Chiefs taking on the San Francisco 49ers. And what better way to break down this tasty matchup than by welcoming in former NFL tight end and reality TV star Clay Harbor to the program. Thank you, Clay, for coming to hang out with us here today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Of course. And, you see this matchup, Chiefs, Niners. What's your initial thought on it?
My initial thoughts is because back in 2010, when I was drafted by Andy Reid, and I played with the Eagles for 4 years. Andy was my coach. I think he's an amazing guy, and I really hope that he gets that ever-elusive Super Bowl. I mean, he deserves it. He earns it. He's a great coach. I've never met a player or anyone I've ever played with that said a bad word about him.
What is it about him? Like, what is it that makes him such a good guy?
He cares for his players. He's always got your back. He's a true general. He's funny. He's real. And he treats his players like family. And you really want to be successful for him. And, I mean, that was everyone in the locker room. Even in Philly the last years, I was there when Andy got fired, unfortunately. And, all of us felt like it was us, like there was like a part of our family that we kind of let down. So he has the players' respect, admiration, and everybody wants to be successful for him.
Well, he has a lot to prove, of course, as well as Kyle Shanahan. So we're going to talk more about Clay's thoughts on how these teams stack up, get the latest on his reality TV career, and give out some roses of our own. But first, let's dive into tonight's headlines. San Francisco running back Raheem Mostert, who had 4 touchdowns in the NFC Championship game, said he uses being cut from 6 different teams to fire him up before games. Wait, that works? Asked Johnny Manziel. Where in the world is Johnny Manziel? I mean, where is he? Like, what's Johnny Manziel doing these days? He's got to try the XFL, right?
Is he going for the XFL?
He's done every other thing.
Yeah.
Like, he did try it already.
I think he wanted to.
He wanted to, and they didn't want him. Good. Someone's saying no.
Perfect for him.
Yeah, but everything's perfect for Johnny Manziel, and then it's like a dumpster fire.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, well, I mean, Johnny Manziel, you can come work out, Call It a Night. We don't pay. But you can't get a job anywhere else. That's probably better. Mostert's 220 rushing yards were the second most rushing yards in postseason history. The first, a practice footage carrying Bill Belichick outrunning the Rams security staff. Astros second baseman Jose Altuve told reporters that the idea he hid a device under his jersey to steal signs was made up. Then he followed by saying, "Excuse me, I have to take this call on my left tricep." So lots of cheating going on in sports right now. What's the most creative way of cheating you've ever seen?
The most creative way of cheating,
I'm just leading you into the idea that you've seen cheating before.
Well, I was on New England when the whole Deflategate thing happened with Tom Brady. Tom was we didn't have Tom for the first 4 games of the season. I was there that whole off season going through all that, and for the deflated balls.
Yeah.
And And that's pretty creative, you know?
Yeah, that's...
Deflate a football.
Yeah, as like a player, especially like part of the Patriots, like how did you take that all in?
I mean, we were behind Tom, and I mean, I understand what happened, and
like what happened?
Like I guess that he just liked the balls a little bit, you know, less air. I think it helps a little bit, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. It's not like the steal and signs thing. A lot of people do that kind of.
I
think there are some.
Yeah.
I think there's some. I don't think it was looked at until, you know, somebody got Tom for it, and then, you know, is somebody not going to completely air up their ball after they see this? So I think there was more than just him, but after they got Tom for it, I think everybody else made sure that we're not going to do this. I think it was more widespread than people actually know. But
especially in the cold, right? They're like,
yeah.
I don't know. I've never thrown a football in a professional game yet. For this year's Super Bowl, odds makers are picking the Chiefs as slight favorites to win over the 49ers. In fact, the odds are so close, Pete Rose might not even bet on this game. I had a Pete Rose story I wanted to tell where when I worked at Fox, he was asking me to break down rules in hockey because I'm a big hockey fan. And he's like, why are there offsides when you could just go up to the net and score instantly? And I was like, I think that's so to make the game like you can't really cheat. That'd be cherry picking, right?
Yeah. Makes sense. I'm not a big hockey guy, but I mean, that makes sense to me.
Right, yeah, like, you can't do that.
It's like an over 40, you know, basketball league.
Right.
The guy in offense, you know, stays down there, and they just throw him the ball, and he lays it.
Yeah, I know.
You know?
You're like, that can't happen.
Yeah.
Love explaining that to Pete Rose. The Kansas City Chiefs are heading to their first Super Bowl since 1970. The last time Kansas City played in the big game, quarterback Patrick Mahomes wasn't born yet. Head coach Andy Reid was 11 years old, and Chiefs fan Paul Rudd looked exactly the same. Because this guy does not age. Like, he doesn't age. I don't even know when that photo was taken, but it's just a year ago. But it could have been 10 years ago.
Hasn't changed a bit.
Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes said he took a lot of Tom Brady's advice after last year's AFC Championship game, specifically when Brady said, "Don't f***ing lose." That's the headlines, baby, and print it. Oh man, we are all fired up for a fresh football epi of Call It a Night. After our first time out, we'll find out more about Clay's journey from playing on the field to playing the field. Call It a Night, presented by TurboTax.
Hey, I'm Jorge Andres, and I have the Call It a Night.
Call It a Night, presented by TurboTax. Hey guys, welcome back to Call It a Night. We've got former NFL tight end and reality TV star Clay Harbor on the couch with us today. Clay, you've got so many different tentacles in different areas of TV and football. But let's first get to the Super Bowl matchup. We got Niners and Chiefs. There's been scrutiny against Jimmy Garoppolo and the fact that he has not thrown the ball a whole lot in the last 2 games. But then for the Chiefs, they have been so slow in the first quarter of the past 2 games as well. Mm-hmm. When you look at it, like, I mean, who do you think has the edge?
I'm going with Kansas City because one guy, Patrick Mahomes, he's been playing unbelievable. Not only throwing the ball well, he's been running the ball incredibly, and just very impressive the way he competes, the competitor he is. I'm in the couch, I'm getting fired up, I'm sweating, my palms are sweating. I'm like, I love this guy. And obviously, Big Red, Andy Reid, phenomenal coach, great guy, got to pull for him. I like Jimmy. I played with Jimmy on the Patriots. Okay. Jimmy was one of my guys. We worked out a lot together, but I'm going with the Chiefs. Mahomes, incredible competitor, incredible quarterback.
So then, having spent time with Jimmy, like, what's something we don't know about him that maybe you saw?
The guy is unbelievable hard worker. This guy spends more time in the training room than some of the trainers. And he's not hurt, but he just spends time working on his body, making sure everything's he's in the film room. I mean, just like Tom Brady, he's a guy that puts in so much work. Even when he wasn't starting, when Tom was playing, you know, Jimmy is putting in that work, and it's good to watch. He's a true professional.
Now, you mentioned Tom Brady, and I saw you had the tweet saying that, you know, he put in a lot of work, the note-taking that he did in film sessions. Tom also had a quote this week that he's open-minded to the process of what may come with his career.
Yeah.
Having seen him, kind of worked with him a bit, What do you think happens with the rest of his career?
I can't imagine Tom Brady being in anything but a Patriots uniform. I mean, that would be wild to see him. And I know he works so well with Belichick. He works so well with Josh McDaniels, who's actually one of his best friends. In meetings, they run joint meetings. Tom's talking, Josh is talking. It's not just like Josh talking to us, it's both of them. And, Tom is, the guy was, when I was there, he was 16th year in the league. He's in the front row. He's taking notes like it's his first time in class. Quick Tom Brady story. I got really good at this game we'd play as players to learn some of these plays. We have these one-word plays. One word tells you the formation, the play, the check, everything. And I got really good at them because I just study them. I'd talk into my phone, listen to them on my way to work. And he comes in our tight end room once. Brian Dable, who was up for a head coaching job, I don't know if he got it, was my tight end coach. And he goes, Tom, come in here. He's like, I want you to play Clay in this game. I beat Tom in this game. And he was legit pissed off. He wasn't happy about it. The next day, he storms in the room. All right, Clay, let's go. I thought he was joking around. I'm laughing. He doesn't break a smile. And he just demolishes me in the game. Wow. That's how competitive he is.
What was the game exactly? You had to...
So you say one of the plays, and you have to give the actual play. So you get a code name, and you have to give the actual name of the play. Like we have a play called, New York. So then I have to say.
Why did you point at the wall?
I was gonna say like, play called Call at Night.
Okay, yeah. I was like, wow.
If play Call at Night. So then you have to give him all right, green right, 72, X, Y hook, whatever, and you have to give back the play. And I got really good at that. But Tom came back, and he's that competitive to where a little game like that, he first thing comes in the room just so he can show me that he's better at me than that.
Man, you don't want to be playing that guy in like chess or checkers or something.
No, I know.
Ruin it. But you mentioned tight ends. You obviously were a tight end when
yeah.
You drafted 2010 Eagles. When you were drafted, you were in the same round as another tight end, Aaron Hernandez.
Yes.
I saw that you tweeted about watching the documentary. What was your takeaway from seeing that?
Man, it was truly unfortunate. Aaron Hernandez, great player. I would watch film of him years after he was out the league just because he was such a good route runner and run after the catch. I'd like to take pieces of his game and implement them into mine. I was the first guy to wear 81 in New England after him, when I signed there. 2010 NFL Combine together. My name's Harbor, his is Hernandez. He's behind me in line. We're talking the whole time, laughing, joking around. I'm like, this is a nice guy. And talked to him a couple times on the, when you go on your pre-draft visits, we're on the same visit teams that need a tight end, would tend to bring in a few tight ends a couple times after games. I always thought he was a nice guy, but that just goes to show you never know, what's going on with someone. I thought it was very unfortunate, and obviously very unfortunate for the people, everybody involved, and just it's a crazy story, and it's almost surreal to me. Sometimes. Truth is stranger than fiction, and that being real is incredible. That actually happened.
Watching it, it's two different people, really, in a way. And speaking of television, to lighten things up a little bit more, you're also very well known from being on The Bachelorette, Becca's season.
Yep.
How did you decide I'm going to do The Bachelorette?
Yeah, so it was actually weird. They contacted me. I didn't have to jump through all the hoops for applying and doing all that stuff, and I wasn't sure I was going to do it until a week before I actually stepped out of the limo. And I'm like, I'm still playing football. They're like, it's fine. You'll just go on some dates. If you're not feeling it, you can leave. I'm like, hey, this would be a good chance. Maybe people are meeting on dating apps. People are meeting at maybe I'll meet my wife on a TV show. And I went. Unfortunately, I got injured on there. But it was a fun experience. I got to meet a lot of cool people, and I'll have a lot of stories to tell my kids when I'm, sitting at the dinner table, later on in life.
We don't have a whole lot of time, but I want to get to a couple of things. What's one thing that would surprise us as viewers, or that we don't understand about that experience? Well,
the fact that there's no people how do you get to know someone so much in that amount of time? And what I'll say is, there's no phone, there's no TV, there's no radio. The only entertainment you have is each other. So you really get to dive into these people's lives and get to know them a lot better than you would in a normal life setting. Like I was telling you during the break that, you cover the first month of dating basically in the first day, because you're with these people from 8 a.m. till 2 a.m. you're like hanging out and like you really get to know those people. And that's usually in dating, you don't spend that much time consecutively with, the same person.
And just quickly, I know things kind of ended a little tumultuously on the last season of Bachelor in Paradise. When you look back on that, what's the takeaway?
It's the takeaway is that, you never know if something's going to get edited. Firstly, it was very different in person, and I stick to my values. I wasn't ready to, get married. People like, you should have just, told her, got engaged. I'm like, no, when I'm getting engaged, to me, that's marriage. Like, I'm asking one person to marry me. And, like, maybe you should have just, like, told her you loved her. And, like, I'm like, no, I wasn't feeling that. I don't want to lie to somebody. I told her I was getting there. And, I'm completely fine with my choices. And I know a lot of people didn't agree with me not wanting to get married or engaged at the end of the show. But, realistically, we dated for 2 weeks. And I just wanted to see how things went outside of, a beach and, drinking tequila and hanging with friends every night.
It's like having 4 million family and friends telling you what you should do with your life, which is not easy.
You thought Thanksgiving was bad,
Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine. I applied for The Bachelor and I didn't get on it. We are just getting started on reality TV show romance. Stay tuned to see who Clay is going to give roses to. Maybe me.
Call It a Night, presented by TurboTax.
Hey kiddies, we're rocking and rolling along this beautiful mid-January Tuesday. I know it's cold outside, but I know a guy who can help get that fire started. Clay Harbor, former NFL tight end, reality TV star. You may remember him from The Bachelorette, Becca's season, and he was on Bachelor in Paradise. Clay, you know a thing or two about a rose ceremony. You also know a ton about football, and so we thought it would be great for you to help us select some winners. The heart wants what it wants, baby, in Super Rose Bowl. So what are we doing here? We're gonna have a bunch of different matchups, Super Bowl related, and we also have all these roses. Wow, what a great pairing. We want you to pick a rose up.
Okay.
And I'm gonna read you a matchup, and then I want you to say who you think should win this matchup and why, and tell the people of the world who deserves that rose. So we'll start with Patrick Mahomes versus Jimmy Garoppolo.
Okay, so this is honestly one of the toughest decisions I've had to make. And Jimmy, you're amazing, and I think you're a great quarterback, and I really do like you. I liked our time together when I was on New England. But I have to go with Patrick. He can throw the ball, he can run the ball. He has been winning a lot of games, and he plays for my old coach. So, Patrick Mahomes, will you accept this rose?
Oh, yeah, he will. He wants that rose.
I appreciate it. I'll keep it here for you.
Wow, that was incredible.
Yeah.
Tough L for Jimmy Garoppolo. Okay, next up we got Paul Rudd versus Huey Lewis.
Because I'm old, but I'm not that old. Huey Lewis, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to say anything about your age, but you're ancient. And I wasn't born when your songs were good. So, that being said, I'm a big Avengers guy. I like Paul Rudd, and he seems to have found the fountain of youth. Or he's Benjamin Button, I don't know. So that being said, Paul Rudd, will you accept this rose?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, Paul
Thanks,
Rudd's
Paul.
definitely taking that rose. 60% of the time works all the time. Okay, well, this is an interesting matchup. We've got a guy who's also done reality TV. We have Travis Kelce taking on George Kittle. Who do you want?
This one is really close to my heart because I'm a tight end myself. And George, I think you're amazing. Honestly, you're a great tight end. You can run, you can catch, you can block. But we just haven't seen enough of you. I haven't seen enough of you yet. You're new to the scene, and a guy that's been there and done it. And he's done reality TV. He's dated women on camera before, so I respect that too. So that being said, Travis Kelce, will you accept this rose?
Of course I will.
Yes, yes.
Thanks, Trav.
And you know his brother, Jason.
Jason, I
from
played
the
with
Eagles.
Jason in Philly, and I actually met Travis several times before he was in the NFL. I remember him telling me, man, I'm pretty good. I think I'll have a chance to play in the NFL. I remember thinking, okay, buddy, like, all right.
Slow down.
Yeah.
Hold your
It's not that easy, And now he's the best tight end in the game,
Who would have thought?
Yeah.
Not me. Wow, that's
Crazy.
amazing. Okay, next up, we've got Casey Wolf. These are mascots. Casey Wolf taking on Sourdough Sam.
This is interesting, like me a good sourdough, but Casey Wolf. I went to college in Missouri. I respect all the Chiefs fans, and they're very passionate about their game and their team. So just out of respect for them, Casey Wolf, will you accept this rose?
100%. Yes, he will.
Appreciate
You
it.
could never trust a mascot that's a person,
Yeah.
It's just a little odd.
Exactly.
Speaking of people, our next matchup, two broadcasters. We've got Joe Buck versus Troy Aikman. Oh.
Okay. I think if Tony Romo was available, I'd pick him. I think Tony
hands down.
is incredible. The guy knows his stuff. It's like he sees it before it happens. I don't know.
He's already seen the
He's
game
psychic.
before it's
Yeah, he
happened.
knows, and he knows what's about to happen. But just because Troy Aikman is a Hall of Fame quarterback, he's won 3 NFL Super Bowls. He was the starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. I like when a player can talk about the game. I like Joe Buck. I think Joe Buck and I think they have great chemistry together. But when it comes down to me and this rose, I have to ask Troy Aikman, will you accept this rose?
Touchdown. Absolutely.
Yes. That's a tough L for Joe Buck. He's apparently a big Bachelorette fan. He watches
he?
the Bachelorette more than he barely watches any sports that he's not broadcasting.
And he watches the Bachelorette.
Yeah.
All right, sorry, Joe. I mean, I may have to rethink this.
Well, maybe you'll bring him back.
The die is
for the next
cast, but
season.
man, sorry.
Okay, that's it. That was so much fun. Thank you so much for doing that. Got lots of
course.
roses. We'll have to see where they're going next. And we've got a whole lot more fun with Clay Harbor, including some salacious shirtless photos.
Call It a Night, presented by TurboTax.
We're cruising along here on Call It a Night, but before we do just that, make sure you follow us for exclusive content like more laughs with Clay Harbor at Fubo Sports on Twitter, and you can also find full episodes of the Fubo Sports Network shows for a limited time only if you subscribe to our Fubo Sports YouTube channel. Don't forget, you can also stream us 24/7 at fubosportsnetwork.com. Clay, thank you so much for coming on here, dishing out some roses to everyone. Where can we find you next? What are you up to?
So I've started a little fitness page, workout business. Follow me on Instagram at Workout Like the Pros or Clay Harbor, and then I have my page linked. And been doing a lot of speaking engagements, and maybe a little XFL football. I don't know. Maybe I'll go play there.
Yeah, let's get you a job. Why should you be in the XFL? We only have 30 seconds. Go.
I can pick up an offense faster than probably 95% of the players in the NFL, XFL. I can pick up the offense fast. I can play different positions. I have over 100 receptions in the NFL. I still am in good shape. I work out all the time.
And he has like 300,000 Instagram followers.
Yes, it'll be great
Hire
for
him, New
business.
York Guardians. That's it, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us here. Make sure you're back here Thursday, same time, same place. More fun, less annoying stuff than other shows. Call it a night, baby.